serving up a warm dish of the Triad's culinary fare, here's your weekly helping of food, news, and views. This is the man who ate the town.
Hey folks, and welcome to episode 91 of the Man Who Ate the Town podcast. This is for the week of November 26th through December 2nd, 2018. My name is Tim Beeman.
And my name is Ray Morgan.
And we're opening the recipe box. We're recording this episode of the Man Who Ate the Town at the new lab at Industry Hill. It is a repurposed building on North Chestnut Street in the old warehouse district in downtown Winston-Salem, what we now call Industry Hill. Find out more by visiting industryhill.com. So Ray, did you have a nice holiday?
As a matter of fact, we had a most excellent holiday.
Very good.
Had an amazing Thanksgiving meal, and thank you very much for the hospitality. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. As I told you, your folks have a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Their hospitality was very nice. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves.
And they said to tell you and Whitney and Francesca that they really enjoyed having all of you there, and you have the invitation to come back again.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Nice. Now, I will say it was amusing to me because Whitney's favorite Christmas movie is A White Christmas.
Right.
The original from 1954.
Right.
My daughter had never seen it. So Whitney said, hey, why don't we watch it this weekend? And she said, I'm sorry, I can't. I promised one of my girlfriends from school that I would watch it with her. So I, being the silly person that I am, opened my mouth and said, well, gosh, if all three of you were in the room together, then you would knock it all out at one time. When we got home from your parents' house, here comes Maggie. So we sat down and we watched A White Christmas.
Well, we're glad that the communal idea spread from our home to yours.
It did. And we had a blast. I mean, it was a lot of fun to watch it, especially with two of us that are relative rookies with two folks that are nerds.
Yeah.
And can quote most of the movie.
Right.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. We had a blast.
Well, I don't know if you got the same impression, but when Stephanie first met my parents, there's no way this is his parents. And after 5 minutes of talking to him, these are definitely his parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if you got that or not, but that's how her first reaction was when she first met them. It was like, there's no way these kind, sweet people are his parents. And then after 5 minutes, like, well, that's where he gets his stuff from. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about that actually while we were still there.
Good. I'm glad that I didn't let them down.
You did not.
All right. Well, let's talk a little here. I want to start off with some frustrating news. How about that?
Okay, let's get the frustration out up front.
A couple of weeks back, and I believe it was your first show with us, we reported that Carmine's 901 was closed for a menu revamp.
Yeah, that's just like a coat of paint or something.
Yeah.
That's a little something.
And I mentioned at that time that I thought it was strange that a restaurant would need to close for a menu revamp.
And we even had some ideas of things that they should be revamping, not just the menu.
Indeed. I had seen in the news from Michael Hastings that this was going to be the case, and my friend Christy Meyer that reportedly mentioned it as well. I'm not sure if that was in Yes Weekly or for her Triad Foodies blog or something else. We then find out this week that spot is being taken over by Hop's Burger Bar. Now, I think that's bittersweet, good, and meh, really. But really, another burger joint.
Do we need another burger joint?
I, along with countless others, let alone many of the food folks, have talked until we're collectively blue in the face about more diversity in ethnic food choices in this town. Greensboro has many, Winston has little. Yes. This is going to be a big deal, and with that comes a lot of traffic to an already congested location, especially with Business 40 closing right now. Yeah. With this, I can't get excited that Hops is coming, at least to this spot. Now, that being said, I do support them coming.
Yes.
I wish it was a place where parking wasn't so screwed up, but then again, we're in Winston-Salem.
True. But now, you're right. You can fit, 9 cars in the parking lot?
If you're lucky. I mean, people can park up there, but I'm sure Salem Smiles doesn't appreciate their parking lot being crammed full of people that's not getting their teeth fixed. And on nights that Theater Alliance has a show, they don't want people parking, taking up their customers or patrons' spots either. That's what the problem's been with this location the entire time. Now, yes, there are some street parking, but it's prime real estate. It's hard to get. There is another parking lot on the other side of Theater Alliance that people may or may not know to use to walk there. It's not that big of a walk. In this town, we do have some, I don't know what, blind, what's the word I'm looking for?
Couldn't tell you.
where they think the entitlement to upfront parking.
Right.
Yet, these are the same people who probably go to the mall now that it's Black Friday past and park a half a mile away to walk to go to the mall. But Lord forbid you go downtown and you have to walk
a half
block to get to wherever you're going.
And from that parking lot that you're describing to the front door, quarter block, yeah. It's not even a full, there's a driveway between that parking lot and this new Hops Burger Bar. Now, the part that is frustrating, though, why I say it was frustrating, is that we are expected to deliver accurate news, whether it's our own investigation or trusting those who we are colleagues with, be it Michael Hastings or anyone else writing for the Journal, or Christy Meyer, or Brian Clary over at Triad City Beat, who I actually write for sometimes. We expect accuracy, and we're expected to deliver accuracy. Christy brought up that fact that we should have gotten the straight story to begin with. The articles that I've read have said this is a very sudden development, but there had to have been some indication to all the parties involved. Carmine's not going to close down for a menu revamp. And, oh, by the way, we sold your lease. What? That's not what happened. We know that's not why. It can't logically happen. Mm-mm.
I feel a bit slighted, and I think Christy did too. And I don't know what Michael feels about it.
We can ask him.
And it's probably a trivial and moot point, but we do take pride in what we report to the listeners and readers. But I will say, for the erroneous, albeit not my fault, just reporting, I do apologize to the listeners and or readers of the blog and this podcast. But something is afoul here in the state of Denmark, and I don't know what it is. Someone was telling someone something that didn't happen.
On purpose.
On purpose.
It
I don't know.
appears that it would be.
Yeah, that's
purpose.
the only thing I can think of. I mean, was it Carmine's when they said, "Oh, we're going to do this to cover up something"? Was it Hops that said, "Oh, don't tell anybody anything. We got to, we want to keep this secret," which is fine. Just say, "Hey, this didn't work out for us. We're out. See you."
Mm-hmm.
And then, bam, here's a new thing.
Or if somebody's asking the question you're not ready to answer, then just say,
"We have no comment.
I can't answer it at this time. Call me in 3 weeks."
I looked back at the article that Michael Hastings wrote about Carmine's, and it was pretty in-depth of how, food costs went up and my prices didn't, and people kept coming in and saying that they wanted to order this. Well, we're going to make sure this is closer to what's up there. Now, just it could be that they approached him after that was done.
It's possible.
It's possible. But
that would seem a very short time frame to have made that kind of a negotiation.
And when did Chris Martin and his partner at Hops decide to approach this?
Or were they approached?
Or were they approached to do it? Yeah. There's a whole lot of questions here. Something is just smelling funny, and I can't figure out what it is. And it's not the Boston baked beans that we had for.
No, those didn't smell funny. Those smelled excellent.
They were actually pretty good.
They really were.
But I don't know. Again, it's not my fault, but I apologize for giving you false information. And it's not. I don't blame Michael or Christy either. I don't. There's no one to blame. I just think that we weren't giving the straight story.
Right.
And
It's frustrating.
it is. And that's why I said this is frustrating news. Speaking of the lack of ethnic food choices, or what I like to call the ethnic food crisis in this town, Miami Restaurant posted on their Facebook account that this past weekend was their last, at least for the foreseeable future.
I hate to hear that.
They have been talking about moving or closing since July.
Actually, since about July a year before that.
Okay. And it was either they haven't found a suitable replacement location, or they just didn't want to bother. Don't know. I've not talked to them. But as with everything in this town, there is parking issues there.
Oh.
No one could get to it. No one could get to it when it was Christopher's. No one could get to it when it was Rainbow News before that.
Oh, but it was so worth going to Rainbow News.
Yeah.
Loved Rainbow. It's one of my favorite places in town.
I never got to go.
Oh, the basil chicken chunks with the honey mayo dipping sauce were awesome.
Now, Stephanie did get to go there. Oh, I didn't come downtown that much at the time.
Well, you know that at one point I was working for the Attractions Dining and Value Guide.
Yes.
And we'd had the conversation with Miami Restaurant about a year ago, saying, hey, we would like to include you in our upcoming publication, because they had been working with us before.
Yeah.
And her comment was, I don't know that I'll last the year. She's lasted a year longer than what she thought. But her big problem was that she didn't believe that people understood what Cuban cuisine was.
Yeah. It's not Mexican.
And that was exactly what she said. It's not Mexican. Cuban food is very different. It's not fast food. You take your time through a Cuban meal.
People think Cuban, they think a Cubano sandwich.
Yeah.
And that is Cuban, but that's not what Cuban food is all about.
That's just one of many dishes that are available. So, yeah, is it a chicken or an egg? Did she need to do a better job of educating the public about Cuban food? Or should we have already known more about Cuban food and been able to appreciate what it was that she brought to town?
Well, I don't know that there is an answer that's a logical answer to that, because no one in this town wants to know anything about anything that's not Italian, Thai, Mexican, or fast food.
Right. Or burgers.
And I'm not putting anybody down for that. I just think that it is the city's job to find out more information about the cuisine they're going to take on. Mm-hmm. Catherine does fairly well, and that's French-inspired food. It's not necessarily all French food.
They've done some homework. They know what the market wants.
Yeah. Well, I think Chef Adam has French cooking experience, so that probably helps a little bit here.
Yeah.
He's not the one who started there. He's not the one who got everything going, but he is the one who's at the helm now and making it pretty darn good. Again, we have enough Mexican restaurants in this town.
You think?
Yeah. Whether they want to be authentic Mexican or not, none of them are. Whether, we have, and I love Tony and Maria Delicios, we have enough Italian food.
Mm-hmm.
If you want Italian food, go there, because you're going to get the best. And I'm not saying the other ones aren't. Mozzarella Fellas, great stuff.
Love mozzarella.
It's according to where you are in town. It's easier to get to, go there. Fine.
If you live on the north side of town, mozzarella makes a whole lot more sense.
Yes, but there is something that will placate you. If you're in the west side of town, go to over there to what's that on Robin Hood Road?
Paul's.
Paul's, yeah.
Or Vincenzo's.
Vincenzo's, yeah. So you have something everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't need another one. There's enough Thai restaurants to, the MSG is just killing us. Not that there's always MSG. Don't take that. I'm using it as a metaphor.
I followed you. Well, it's when the Basil Leaf opened up their new location over off Highway 68. There were already 4 other Thai restaurants that had opened within a 2-mile radius. So I'm thinking, why would you want to be the 5th? Thai restaurant in that small of a market.
Exactly. I remember it was not even 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, that I complained that we didn't have an authentic burger joint in this town. And here we are talking about hops coming. After we have Burger Batch, Chin Chin, Bad Daddy's. Those are the what I consider the actual burger joints. Now you have like Zesto Burger and Ice Cream, and even Mr. Barbecue and things like that have burgers, and they are really good at what they do.
They are.
But when I say burgers, I'm talking a burger joint. I'm talking about,
it's a burger theme. It's featuring burgers. That's the highlight of the restaurant, is the burger.
Absolutely. I mean, it's in the names. Burger Batch, Chin Chin, Burger Bar.
Right.
Bad Daddy's, Burger Bar. Hops, Burger Bar. Those are the places. We have enough.
Yeah, because we've also got Food Freaks.
We have Food Freaks. We have the truck. We have a new one called Burger Supreme or whatever the new food truck is.
I heard about that.
It's only a couple of weeks old, but everybody that I hear say it's fantastic.
Yep.
So, yes, we have that. We need stuff that we don't have. What is that noise?
They're banging on the building. So, where's the best one of those to go to?
Okay, so
in your
opinion, in my opinion, it's according to what I'm doing. If I'm wanting just to go grab a burger and fries, be in a casual setting and just not worry about it, I'm going. If it's according if I'm already here or if I'm on my way here to the studio.
That makes sense.
If I'm already here, I'm going to Zesto. Take Northwest 14th, where it's all one street till it dead ends. Zesto. If I'm coming here and I'm just hungry, I'm stopping at Mr. Barbecue. Honestly, Mr. Barbecue is one of the best diner-style burgers that I've ever had.
That's saying something.
Yeah. Now, if I want a burger experience, then my choice of the ones that I've had, because I've not had a Hops Burger Bar. Please excuse them knocking on whatever they're knocking on.
It sounds like they're pounding on the ceiling, literally.
It does. I don't know what that is.
It's Morse code. They're giving us an SOS. They need to escape.
Yeah. Please
They're
let
being
us
held
off
hostage in the ceiling.
Let's have this drop ceiling. I'm going Chin Chin.
Why?
I just have not had a bad burger there. I'm not saying I've had a bad burger anywhere else. I will say this, and I love the boys over at Small Batch and Burger Batch. I love those guys. They're my boys. I believe that the burger was better there before there was a Burger Batch. When they just served food out of the very small kitchen that was located behind Small Batch, I thought the burgers tasted better. Now, they had one burger, and that was it. Now, Burger Batch has plenty to choose from, and I do like their burgers. If I'm doing a head-to-head comparison, just in my head, not me sitting down with one of each.
Right.
Which, we may need to
we
organize.
We may need to do that.
But if I'm doing one in my head, I'm going to pick Chin Chin over Burger Batch. Both of them offer ridiculous ice cream milkshake things that are, out of this world, supposedly. That does not thrill me at either one. I've never had one. I have no want of one. It's a bunch of mess that I don't want to deal with.
It's a sugar overload.
Well, it is. And it's really... look here how big my dick is. I mean, really, that's all it is.
I can eat a shake this big.
Yeah. And let's not forget, if we're going to go in that area of Zesto and Mr. Barbecue and all that stuff, we can't leave Uncle Buzzy's out. We can't leave...
I've not had that one yet.
Really can't leave Local 27101 out. Their burgers are pretty good. Willow's. I talk about it all the time on the Less Desirables. You didn't even know that people would go there for a burger. And my mother says, and my sister, who had not had a hamburger outside of her house or my mother's house in 20 years, now finds reasons to go to Willow's to have their burger.
Wow.
So,
of course, I had the pecan crusted salmon instead.
Yeah.
With those, oh my gosh, that pureed yams with the Brussels sprouts and shiitake mushrooms with the cherry gastrique. Oh my God.
Yeah.
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 That was one of the best meals I've had in a long time. Thank you very much for making sure that we have experienced Willow's.
You're welcome, and I'm glad that you got to experience it. And I'm glad that you experienced it with me.
I am too. That took it to a whole new level.
Yeah. I don't go there and just sit. I mean, it's an experience to go there.
Oh yeah,
So.
had a blast.
But yeah, to answer your question, I've been to Bad Daddy's once. It could have been that I had been in Charlotte all day that day at various breweries, tasting a schload of beer and other things that I really wasn't in the mood for a burger. But I didn't have anything that blew my socks off that day. Again, I would love to try that again. I would love to have. I don't want to say it. I don't like saying cook off because I think that's stupid. But I would love to have some kind of competition between the major burger, and even bring in Zesto and Mr. Barbecue if they want to do it, Uncle Buzzy's, all that for their burger. And let's see which one.
Put them to the taste test.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this is just my opinion. I want to know what other people think about this. This would be something that would be good. Maybe we'll put this as a poll on the blog and actually get people to respond to it, or comment, or send an email, or Facebook, Twitter, Instagram message, anything like that. What is your favorite burger in Winston?
In Winston.
That is not Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's.
None of the fast food chains.
Yeah, none of that crap. Where do you, crap as being, I just don't eat it. And if you like that, I don't mean it's crap. Gotta watch what you say these days. But just for.
It's not Scottish, then it's crap.
Then it's crap. But let's say, for the sake of argument, in Winston-Salem, what is your favorite non-fast food chain burger?
Does that knock Bad Daddy's out of the running?
No, because that's Burger Bar, because that would knock Hops out if they were here when we did it too, because there's 4 of those.
But it's still a North Carolina-based business, not a national
True.
chain.
Even that, as long as it's
just not one of the fast food places.
Yeah. I'm talking, you can't
so
count
Cafe
Chili's.
Arthur's counts.
Cafe Arthur's does count.
Arby's does not.
Arby's does not. Anything that you're going to equate to television commercial fast food joints do not count. It has to be someplace that you feel. I don't even want Waffle House or this IHOB crap on there. I don't want that. I want local
places that are known for their burgers.
Right. It's hard to get that point across.
If we're going to try to cover all those variables.
Yeah. So whenever I do the poll, because I have to give choices, I can't just leave it for people to do that. And they can write it in there and send it to me, but they can't write it in on the poll because of the poll that I use. So I will make sure when I write this, pole dancing I have to do around, Yeah. Shake it.
Don't. Please don't. Oh, God, no.
So I will work on that, and it'll be on there when you listen to this. If you don't see the one you want, I'll put an other button as well. But if you don't see what you want, if you hit other, please send me a message somehow and tell me what your choice is so I can include that if I have missed something.
Maybe we get the top 3 vote getters and go get one of their burgers and see what we think.
That's true. We'll do that. We'll make a big deal out of it.
I'm liking it because that means I get to eat burgers.
Yep.
Good
Me too.
ones.
Me too. Absolutely. And let me be clear. I don't think any of them suck.
Now,
Yeah.
are we talking brick and mortar, or do the food trucks come into play too?
Food trucks count too. I may not mention them on the poll, but there will be other, and I'll maybe just call it a food truck, and we'll go with that.
Because if it's a food truck, then it's probably Food Freaks. Yeah. Can you tell I'm loyal to Food Freaks?
No, who's that? I'm kidding. I know who.
Brandon Cassidy is an amazing man.
Yeah, I'm aware.
I knew you knew.
Yeah.
I knew him before.
All right. My ex-wife's cousin is one of the investors in Food Freaks.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
He was an administrator for a local educational institution, and I was working with him on his marketing. That's how I first got to meet him. And I remember him talking about, God, I really want to open up this food truck. I really want to do this. And it's been exciting to watch him live into his passion.
Very good.
Yeah.
That always is a plus when that happens. All right, so food holidays and history for this week.
Yes.
All right, the 26th of November. First of all, happy birthday to former co-host Tim Johnson. Today is his birthday. It's National Cake Day. Lucky him.
Yeah.
On the 26th in
Lucky
1876, Willis Haviland Carrier was born. He invented the first practical air conditioner. That's Carrier Air.
We love him.
Also on this date in 1922, Charles M. Schultz was born. So that gave us
Peanuts.
Snoopy, Peanuts, and Charlie Brown.
Yep, we watched some Charlie Brown Christmas this weekend.
Nice. On the 27th, it's National Bavarian Cream Pie Day. I like Bavarian cream pie.
Mm-hmm.
And
where do we go to get it?
I don't know.
We got to figure that one
Yeah.
out. All right, next.
Yeah. 1923 on the 27th, Velveeta Cheese Company registered Velveeta trademark.
Processed cheese-like product.
Yeah. I think when they first started doing it, it was closer to cheese. Now, I'm not going to lie. I love me some Velveeta. I just should not have it. I like it with sausage and rotel.
Oh, yes. Yes. My grandmother used to give us big slabs of it.
Yeah.
I can't eat it now.
Yeah.
Now, with rotel and chili.
Yeah. On the 28th is National French Toast Day, and it's Alice's Restaurant Massacre Day. In 1863, Thanksgiving was first celebrated as a regular American holiday on the 28th. In 1869, W.F. Semple of Mount Vernon, Ohio, was issued the first chewing gum patent. 1942, coffee rationing began in the U.S.
That's a sad day.
In 1965, Arlo Guthrie was convicted of littering in the Berkshire County town of Stockbridge, and the song Alice's Restaurant Massacre was born, with its 21 8x10 glossy pictures with red arrows and circles on each one and a paragraph on the back.
Love that song.
We listened to it Thursday morning.
I have not. I need to listen to that.
On the 29th, it is National Lemon Cream Pie Day. In 1933, on the 29th, the first state liquor stores were authorized, and that was in Pennsylvania. In 1977, Apple Computer registered the Apple trademark for computers and computer programs.
1977.
Yeah. On the 30th of November, it's National Moose Day. National Moose. No, M-O-U-S-S-E. Moose.
Oh.
Like pudding moose. National Mason Jar Day. And the Great Pastry War began.
What?
In 1838, the Great Pastry War, a brief conflict began between Mexico and France, which caused by a French pastry cook who claimed that some Mexican army soldiers had damaged his restaurant. The Mexican government refused to pay for damages. Several other countries had pressed the Mexican government for similar claims in the past due to civil unrest. France decided to do something about it and sent a fleet to Veracruz and fired on the fortress outside the harbor. They occupied the city on April 16, 1838, and through the mediation of Great Britain, were promised payment of 600,000 pesos for the damages. They withdrew on March 9th, 1839. Yeah.
I'm sorry. National Mason Jar Day?
Oh, yeah. In 1858, John L. Mason of New York was issued a patent for a glass jar known as the Mason jar. And on the patent, it says improvement in screw neck bottles. In 1875, African-American inventor Alexander P. Ashburn was issued a patent for a biscuit cutter, and on his patent it said improvement in biscuit cutters. Also, in 1875, on the same day, Asmus J. Erickson was issued the first U.S. patent for an oat crushing or an oat mealing machine. On that day, a lot of stuff on the 30th, the last day of the month. I just have to get it all in there. In 1983, Alfred Heineken, the president of Heineken, the beer, was released after being kidnapped on November 9th. He was freed after a ransom of over $20 million was paid. The kidnappers were eventually caught. I don't know if he got his money back.
I was going to say. That's a long time to be kidnapped.
That was.
21 days.
21 days.
3 weeks. I wonder if the Stockholm Syndrome had kicked in by that point.
I don't know. Just give them a beer. Just give them a beer. Don't worry about it. They're cool. Just give me a beer.
Like
and my $20 million.
$20 million or beer, guy. Come on, man.
The kidnappers were, like I said, eventually caught, and I don't know if he ever got his money back.
I would hope he'd get his money back.
Yeah.
That's sad.
What would they do with it? I mean, if they didn't give it back to him?
I don't know. They were in jail for a while, you'd think.
You would think. Kidnapping is a serious thing.
Yeah, and you kidnap the guy who's making the beer.
Yeah, so we should all just do an elbow off the top rope for that one.
There's some people going to be mad.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stop.
On the 1st of December, it's Eat a Red Apple Day, and in 1885, Dr. Pepper is served for the first time there.
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, and on the 2nd of December, it's National Fritters Day.
Oh, I can get behind that.
Yeah. My wife, who used to work at Old Salem, one of the things they taught kids in the experience stores was how to make fritters.
So she got to have fritters a lot?
She made fritters. Well, that's your food holidays and history for the week. Special thanks to James Ealer at foodreference.com for his compiling of the holidays and history.
Thanks, James.
The Man Who Ate to Town podcast is part of the Less Desirables podcast network. Along with this podcast, you can listen to the Less Desirables, the Beer Dads, Fan Interference, and Apartment 5B, the irrational conversations with the cool breezes of any town, USA. You can find all these podcasts and their latest episodes on our network website and directory, tldpodnetwork.com. Again, that's tldpodnetwork.com. We greatly appreciate you visiting our sponsors, but before we get to the regular sponsors, I do want to say that the Man Who Ate the Town's logo was designed recently by our friend Stallone Frazier. Stallone's in our group.
Stallone, yeah. We love Stallone. Great guy.
For more information about what he does, you can go to StalloneFrazierPhotography.com and look up Stallone Frazier Photography on Instagram. I told him after our meeting on Friday one morning, I said, Stallone, I need your help with something. And I told him what I wanted. He says, okay, I'll have you something Monday. I'm like, yeah, right. Monday came. He gave me a draft. And I said, can we change this and can we change that? By Monday afternoon, I had my final, and I've been using that ever since.
Nice.
So, Stallone, thank you very, very much. And I hear he helped your wife.
He did. Whitney needed a logo. She had an idea of what she wanted. Send over the details, and the next thing we knew, we had a beautiful logo that was exactly what Whitney had envisioned. So, yeah, and again, just like your experience, it was very fast and very reasonable. So, yeah, if you've got graphic work that needs to be done, some photography, call Stallone. Check him out.
Yep, again, StalloneFrazierPhotography.com and Stallone Frazier Photography on Instagram.
I will say he is one of the most positive people I have ever met.
He does. He always likes to reference songs and movie lines, which is cool because we do that too. He is much younger than us, so
yeah. Well, he's not gray yet.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You'll get there.
We invite you to go to 301 Brookstown Avenue to Delicio's Italian Restaurant. Delicio's has revamped their dining room and now have a larger bar open with more beer and more wine. It's brighter and looks pretty darn cool. It's normal height. You don't have to climb a 10-foot ladder to get to your bar stools. You can actually just get in and sit at a regular. Even my wife, who is shy of 5 foot tall, can get into them fairly easily and see over the bar.
She didn't say that she was shy of 5 feet. I think she claimed every bit of it.
Don't let her fool you. Her license may say 5 feet. She says she is 4'11". I say she's 4'10 3/4". But who's counting?
I'm not getting it.
Go have some fantastic Italian food and see this new bar. They're open 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 to 10 on Fridays and Saturdays. Check out their Instagram and Facebook page. Washington Perkins Provision Company is located at 301 West 4th Street, and just in time for the holidays, as we've talked about before, they now have Homeland Creamery's eggnog.
Yes.
And feel free to add your own libation, and if you're just the kind who likes a little bit of eggnog with your libation, then this would be the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
They also have Wolfie's Custard, Larry's Beans Coffee, the Chip Wall, beer and wine wall.
It's awesome.
The deli sandwiches, they have just most of everything you would want. They're better than a convenience store, not quite a grocery store. Check them out on Facebook. It's Washington Perk, and on Instagram, it's WashingtonPerk_DTWS. And the Humblebee shop is located at 1003 Brookstown Avenue in the west end of downtown. Just go to their Instagram, look up their stuff, let your mouth start watering.
You'll be in the car 10 seconds later.
Yeah, but remember, not today, not on Monday.
They're closed on Monday.
Yeah, but you can go to 1003 Brookstown Avenue any other time for cookies, cakes, pies, and other dessert goodies made just for you.
And you should.
You absolutely should. Everything is carefully crafted and made 100% from scratch. The Humblebee shop wants to challenge your perception of scratch made and leave you with an experience you couldn't possibly forget. For more information, follow them on Facebook and visit thehumblebeeshop.co. That's SHOPPE.co. That's pretty cool.
That's cool right there. I like that. That's cool.
Well, keep an eye on my blog and this podcast to find out more about food news and happenings around town. If you have any food news, we promise to try to get it right.
Don't feed us a line of
baloney. And this is a food podcast, but we don't stand for any baloney.
No baloney.
He won't, He won't stand for any baloney.
A fried bologna sandwich now. We might talk about it.
Oh, yes, fried bologna.
That's sort of different.
Not spam, though.
No,
Not treat.
No. The only way I like spam is when it's Spam-A-Lot.
Yes.
I liked it.
Always look on the bright side of life. All right, I don't know the rest of it. But send an email to tim@themanwhoatethetown.com. Like us on Facebook. On Twitter, we are manwho8thetown. On Instagram, we are manwho8thetown. My name is Tim.
My name is Ray.
And we're closing the recipe box. Until next time, thank you for reading and thank you for listening. Bon appetit. The views and opinions stated by me or any of my guests are solely those of ours and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosting companies, distributors, enemies, friends, or relatives. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced or distributed without express written consent of the man who ate the town, that's me, and Such Limited Inc. However, if you ask nicely, we'll probably let you.